It is raining holidays. Happy Workers' Day holiday and happy Salah break. I mean, the holidays are here. I wish to be like some people right now, but I urge you to make the best of it and just stay happy, okay? Welcome on the newspaper review on Women Radio WFM 91.7. My name is Esther Alaribe, and it's just another beautiful morning. Today is the second day in the month of May. It's a new month. Wishing you all the very best that this month comes with. Okay, it's all love light from here. No hate, nothing at all. Just positive vibes and energy all the way. The newspaper review is where we get to review and analyze the dailies across different Nigerian newspapers. And you're welcome to send in your comments, share your opinions on the issues we're going to be discussing this morning. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. And as you know, I never walk alone. I have with me Somto Titilayo Ajama. Good morning, Somto. How are you?
Good morning, Esther. Thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm fine. And just like you've said, I really wish I was enjoying the holidays as well. But here we are doing our diligent duties.
Of course, you know. But the amazing thing is, regardless of how it can be, you just need to find time, make out time for you.
Definitely. I don't play when it comes to that.
Well, I know some people are very selfish with themselves. I know, right? But I know people get to say things like, oh, put you first. Even when you're putting you first, not people that you need to put to alongside, okay?
You know what? No comment.
All right, yes, energy on the bright side this morning. You do want to join the conversation on the newspaper review this morning. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. Yes, so many conversations here and there, but you know what? Let's go over the headlines making the rounds this morning. So you get to see and just listen to things happening in Nigeria. You can react to these things, the headlines, even before we start the analysis. Send us your comments on 070-317-56537. Let's start off with the Punch. On the Punch newspapers, our development agenda based on productive workforce, says Sanwo-Olu. Students accuse Amotekun operatives of extortion. Security outfit denies. Workers' Day, Obaseki increases minimum wage from 30,000 naira to 40,000 naira. Subsidy deduction hits states hard. Governors owe salaries, workers lament. Bomb train, over 100 railway security proposals hit NRC daily. Over to the Vanguard newspapers.
Yes, over to the Vanguard newspapers. Kaduna train attack, Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP drags federal government before ECOWAS court over failure to rescue victims. Blue Rail Line, we're committed to 2023 quarter one completion date. This is coming from Sanwo-Olu, the Lagos State Governor. Condition of Abia State workers worse than labor exploitation, says lawmaker. Measles cases spike in Nigeria, 4 others record largest outbreak in 1 year. And childhood death from vaccine preventable diseases, SCI tasks Nigerian government. Interesting headline.
On the national newspapers, Ebonyi workers seek improved pay, local government autonomy. Odo workers may resume receiving percentage salaries. Abdulrazak hails workers' commitment to national growth. Sanwo-Olu increases primary schools running costs. We're still on strike, says Kaduna Varsity lecturers. Over to the Guardian newspapers.
Yes, May Day, scrap electricity privatization now, labor unions tell government. NDLEA uncovers 1.1 billion counterfeit travelers' checks at Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. Train attack. Ango Abdullah's son freed as Serap sues Buhari for alleged inaction. Amechi blames insecurity on inadequate industries. 2023, discuss issues, not frivolities. Stakeholders tasks politicians.
Under these day newspapers, CSO seeks stringent measures to stem online violence against women and children. Senate, PDP disqualifies former Guber candidates Valentine Ozigbo and others. 11 rescued from Lagos 3-story building collapse. I saw this one last night and I was like, oh, not again.
Oh, we're definitely talking about it.
Not again. Internal security, stick to your constitutional role, IG tells military. Police arrest 14 suspects for railway vandalism. And over to the Daily Trust newspapers.
Yes, on the Daily Trust 2019 audit report. No 4.9 trillion naira is missing from the auditor.
No,
Yes,
4.9
trillion naira is missing from the Auditor General. Then Eid al-Fitr, Federal Road Safety Commission cautions fleet operators against reckless driving. Then police deployment to key public installations in Lagos. Join us, get automatic tickets, Social Democratic Party tells youths. Salah, final victory against terrorists in sight, according to President Buhari. National government gets 50 million naira forms. Catholic priest joins race in Benue State.
So you see, interesting headlines all the way.
To say the least.
Yes, but so let me ask you first. How do you feel if you get to work and you don't get paid, or you get paid in percentage, and when you have to stage a protest and all of this back and forth? How would you feel about it?
You see, my context on that is very relative.
Okay.
But one thing is sure, I'm definitely not going to be happy with the state of work. And to a large extent, the only reason I will still be working is because I need to make some kind of income. Any other thing, I will definitely also be looking for what else I can do. Because honestly, that doesn't present the government or even the companies in good light before the workers. And then it doesn't tell the workers that they are taken as priority and their services or their work is valued. Because why do you go from regular salaries to percentage salaries? And is these percentages, are they based on what exactly? What are the determinants, or what are the factors, or what ratio are these percentages being paid, and what are they based on exactly? So is it based on hierarchy? So from this level we'll get 80% salary, this level we'll get. So I'm looking at that from that perspective, because if you think about it, that means there will be some people earning 20% salary or 30% salary if you're looking at it on a hierarchical basis. Yeah.
It's actually very sad that, so going through the headlines this morning, I saw a whole lot of comments, different headlines lamenting on how workers are not being treated fairly and all of that. I feel like we've gotten past the times where we take Workers' Day to complain about this. Workers' Day should actually be the way workers are actually happy
and celebrated.
Actually happy.
Absolutely.
Not having to complain about things that are not working. We've been joined by analyst for the morning, Adeyemi Adeolu. Adeyemi, how are you doing today?
Good morning, pretty cool.
Yes, same to
that's good. Good morning, Adeyemi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Yes, and happy holidays, Adeyemi.
Thank you. At least it's one of the reasons I'm going to partake this morning.
Yes. Thank you always. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yes. So send in your comments, send in your contributions on 070-317-56537. 070-317-56537. Let's start off with this headline on the Punch newspapers. And this one says, subsidy deduction hits state hard. Governors owe salaries, workers lament. Now, state workers and pensioners have lamented that they had to carry the burden of a cash crush in the country, with many state governments failing to ensure regular payments of salaries, gratuities, and other entitlements. Now, labor leaders in states like Ekiti, Benue, Ogun, Ondo, Rivers, Abia, Ondo, Edo, and Kano states have complained about the way they are being treated. Workers in Benue State lamented they are being owed salary arrears all the way 2019 up until this time, and even correct salaries are being paid in percentage. Kano State complained that pensioners are being owed over 25 billion naira. River State's NLC in River State is saying that since this administration, that is the administration of Nyesom Wike, came on board, that not a pensioner has received any dime at all. In Ogun State, they are also lamenting that gratuities and pensions are also being owed. And we just ask, what will be the motivation of these people going to work every day and not getting paid, or they are getting paid in percentages, looking at how biting the economy is right now? And you want us to come out and say, Happy Workers' Day, Adeyemi.
Thank you, sir. Like we all know, all we have is a pay slip. I don't see the reason why, in the first instance, all the governors and the so-called federal government to be giving excuses for not paying their workers. It's a shame on us, and it's a shame on the system. It implies that there are so many loopholes that we really need to look into. That's why we are calling for the repealing of this present constitution of the Federal Republic. In this room, a lot of let me put it, corruption, and that is why you see that the workers could be suffering and nobody's talking. When you see them still go to work, it's really sad because they want to keep their jobs so that at the end of the day, the what's called the governors we have in place will not tell them that you have been sacked, which they can always do due to the power they think that they inherited in their office. But it's quite unfortunate that even people like in those states, workers where pensioners could be suffering. It is wrong because I know that we also have some money, derivations that they are being paid. So where are this money going to? I think there should be room for these workers to address and redress these issues at the court of law. There is no reason why anything should be owing any worker. No matter whatever the name of that particular, maybe incentive, their salary, whatever is being called, they need not to be owed. And that is really a very big problem that we are facing. And that is one of the reasons you see that corruption will not die. Because the worker that is not paid will look for other means to make money to sustain himself and his family. That is the honest truth. Where are we shying away? And why should they be hiding under the subsidy? Now, let's look at this from this perspective.
Okay.
Subsidy has to do with the fact that we are importing fuel from outside Nigeria. Now, Dangote refinery, from what we read, that is going to cater for the whole of both Africa, which implies it has that capacity to take care of the needs of whatever we can make use in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, that let me say a part of it has been commissioned, which is the fertilizer. The fertilizer plant has been commissioned, which implies that there is an ongoing refinery operation there, because the fertilizer is a byproduct of crude oil, which implies already there is a process that is ongoing there. And even for those who have not been to Dangote area before, I was fortunate to be there some couple of months back. I saw already that they are lifting PMS from Dangote, and it is right inside the Legend Free Trade Zone. There is a large farm tank there. So why can't that take care of the needs of our petroleum needs in Nigeria instead of us importing again, having to pay subsidy?
That's a very valid question.
If over the years we cannot revamp our refineries, there is now the one that we have. And also, it is not only Dangote refinery that is in operation in Nigeria. What about that of Polaria? Where are they taking care of? Are they exporting whatever they are having outside the country alone? The charges not be used at all when it comes to our own context. No, I don't. As a matter of fact, the issue of unsubsidy should not be aired when it comes to Nigeria as at the moment. We have some refineries that are operation, refineries that is operation presently. Let them call it, they are doing skeletal work, whatever they want to call it, or they are testing whatever they are doing. That test one, that product that comes from the telephone and still take care of our needs instead of us importing any PLS from the outside world. It's an unfortunate situation. And the federal government needs to stop hiding behind the finger. It is time for us
Okay.
To be purposeful, we must have a direction. We don't continue like this and we want the state to prosper. It will not prosper. And what we have at the end of the day is what you are seeing on our streets. Now you read that there are children, there are misplants everywhere. Everywhere is flooded with misplants here and there. Where will that not be? When you have a fair state, that is always the result of a fair state. And you know the truth? A point is coming. And it has been said long ago that the poor will begin to feed on the rich. You know that when you go on the street,
get to that. I really hope it doesn't get to that.
let's be honest with ourselves. It's already happening. You see these boys on the street. If you are alone with the healthcare is not taking, they will ransack you, they will push you, ransack you immediately, and get the one with whatever they want to get from you. That's the honest truth. It is very difficult for you to walk alone, let me say from the hour of 7 o'clock in the evening. So let us stop deceiving ourselves. These people we are talking about are children of these workers. When the parents can no longer provide for their needs, cannot provide food for them, they will have to go out and find for it themselves. That is what we see playing out. Why the rich are getting it, the poor are getting poorer in these states. And the workers that are doing most of the job, they are the least paid. Where those you just come into power or just for a term of 4 years or 8 years are being paid in billions. What are we talking about? Is that a system that is properly? That was a dead system. That was a short system.
All right,
if someone will spend 35 years in the system, after putting all his life, the most active part of his life is the sons of the nation of, and yet he's not taking care of. Something is wrong with us. And we only copy how we can cover the burden of our citizens, but we don't copy how it is being our governance is being run in the Western world.
All right, thank you very much, Adeyemi. Thank you for that. Workers actually having to come out to complain about this is very, very sad. Very, very sad. Well, coming back to that, it is 30 minutes to 8 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is the newspaper review. The newspaper review is where we get to review and analyze the dailies across different Nigerian newspapers. Feel free to send us your comments, your reaction to any issue of discuss this morning on 070-317-56537. 070-317-56537. Just to reiterate that we do not take calls on the newspaper review, just text and WhatsApp messages alone. Now, Adeyemi, there's this headline where we are saying from Edo State that Obaseki has increased the minimum wage from 30 to 40,000 naira. Somto has the headlines.
Yes. So I even wanted to link what he said about pensioners, about pensioners working, about workers working for so long and putting all their energy and work into serving the government. And at the end of the day, they're being owed pension, they're being owed gratuities. So in line with that headline that Obaseki, Workers' Day Obaseki increases minimum wage from 30,000 to 40,000. Now, in his speech, there was a part where he said, the government of Edo has now decided to review the minimum wage for Edo workers upwards from 30 to 40,000 a month. He said, undoubtedly, this is the first state since the current outbreak of the coronavirus to take this initiative. He now added that although we would have loved to pay more, we hope this little adjustment would enable us to cushion the impact of the inflation that we're faced with. There is no doubt that the financial implications will be heavy and put another burden on the government. Now, that's one point, the point of inflation. Now, in the same gathering, in the same day when he made this speech at the 2022 Workers' Day speech at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, the pensioners came to that event to specifically lay again their grievances about being owed. And then he said he's particularly interested in the senior citizens, being that they're one of the most vulnerable, and then added that the agreement we have reached with the Union of Pensioners is that the harmonized amount will be paid from May 2022. That's point 2. Now, what I'm bringing up from these two things is he has increased the minimum wage in Edo State to cushion the impact of inflation. I have a question for Adeyemi on that.
Okay.
Then I also have this part where I mentioned the harmonized amount will be paid from May 2022. Now, linking what Adeyemi was saying earlier, Adeyemi, now I have to ask you specifically, do you really think that this promise made by the Edo State Governor Obaseki, that the harmonized amount will be paid? Now, what he said would be paid from May 2022. Now, this doesn't say all of it will be paid in May 2022. It says it would begin to be paid from that month. Do you think this is a promise that workers in Edo State can take seriously, or do you think this is just lip service, as always?
Thank you very much. You know very well that we have come to understand who our so-called rulers are, be it at the federal level or at the state level. Obviously, actually making that comment yesterday would be, just to bring some sort of succor to the heart of these people until it's implemented. That's when we can give him kudos. That's when we can applaud him.
Exactly.
You understand? We can't, like it's always been said. How do you trust a politician when they come to you and promise you heaven and earth? When you know that very well, they won't do it at the end of the day. Even before they even implement the 30,000 naira minimum wage, you know how long it took them. So, and even some are not even paying it up to date. So, what are we talking about? Now, just 40,000 naira, like you said, it doesn't have to come to be, that yesterday, that you have to make that known to us. No! We have to have done that without us on the media. That's to tell you that it's just playing, it's set to play out to the gallery. That's what it is about it. I don't trust them for anything. 40,000, please. What will 40,000 do?
That was my question. To be honest, I'm thinking 40,000 and then you said to cushion the impact of inflation. I'm looking at the inflation is crazy.
Do you know how much rice is in the market?
How do you think that 10,000 naira would actually make any significant difference?
Oh my God. Even just to buy just this, what do you call it, these ingredients, cooking ingredients like pepper and all this stuff. You know how much it costs. Not to talk of you buying rice, buying beans. That's gold. This is even gold.
Beans, definitely.
Very expensive. Very, very expensive. The idea that it's not a restrictive food that anybody can just take and drink before. You know, it is not what you just can afford anymore. You know, and yet we are now saying we will not have this result of people being on the street. I tell you, we have pollution of miscreants. I'm sorry, I don't even, it's even wrong for me to use the word miscreant. We have the pollution of the result of the failure of the state, Nigeria, all around us, and every street of Nigeria. That's what we have.
Thank you very much, Adeyemi.
So, Adeyemi, are we in this light of this comment made by Governor Obaseki to increase from 30,000 naira to 40,000 naira, are we also calling on other state governors to look into this and increase 30,000 naira to 40,000 naira?
Well, at least there's a shift significant,
but at least there's a
something that other states should.
Yes, because some states still haven't implemented the 30,000 naira minimum wage. So, Adeyemi, are we asking for a raise in the minimum wage for workers? And it's not just about the raise; it's being intentional about paying them what they ought to be paid across board.
Now, when you talk about us calling on the other to raise the bar, we might not be realistic with ourselves because knowing fully well what those people are. And like you already said, and like we have been saying, there are some states already that are not paying down minimum wage. So the only thing that we can take solace in, and the only way we can go about it, is by, taking the so-called office of the Accountant General of the Federation, and the head of service, and the president himself to the court. Because actually everything that we have seen actually is from the head, that everything is wrong. And that is the problem we are facing. That's why you see, when the governors, they will continue to give you excuses.
Okay.
If the federal government is taking the larger of whatever is coming into the coffer, taking about 60%, while 40% goes to the state, what is the federal government doing with the 60%? Everything with it. When you have all the expenses, all the concurrent expenditure, there is more on the state government than what the government, federal government doing with the money. Let us, that's the restructuring we say we should look into. When we are able to correct these issues, then there will be no room for any governor to give an excuse for not paying whatever that they ought to pay their workers. That will have to look from that aspect. But for now, because let's be honest, Pastor, there are some states that they cannot pay that money, except the money coming in from the federal government. Because why? No, I wouldn't say that they are not at fault. It simply implies that they are not forward-thinking. They cannot make do of that resources that is within their enclave. That's just the problem. They don't look inward. They are only dependent on their location coming from the federal government, which is absolutely wrong.
True.
It is absolutely wrong. There are so many opportunities around them in their state, but because of the luggage, and you know very well that by the time what they are doing is that this money that comes from the federal government, they will continue to tell us, oh, they are spending it on the workers only. And at the end of the day, we don't see the workers that are being paid their salary. And yet, the money they say they are paying on, they are spending it on the workers' salary. We don't see it. And if they are actually doing that, why are we still having these workers complaining? Virtually all the states are complaining. Those that do not even make statements, they are also complaining. That's the truth. They don't feel that there is no need for them to talk about it. Maybe perhaps they sent emissary to the governor and they are told them, we need to read. So for that, they will say, okay, since it's already discussion, so let us discuss about it. After we are related with the governor already. So that's why you didn't hear the whole 36 states of Nigeria.
But at the end of
about it. I know that Lagos State is on top of their game. So I don't know what kind of Lagos State will say that are owing them. That much I know of Lagos State. But all of that state, no way. They're all good. There's one way, one thing or the other is wrong somewhere.
Okay, Adeyemi, if there's anything that I really want us to look into as a society, as a nation, is this thing where, because we are commemorating a certain day that day, everybody is making promises, everybody's promising to look into, everybody's promising way forward, way forward. After that day, all the promises, everything just waters down and nobody's saying anything, nobody's doing anything. And this trend has been on. If you've not noticed it, maybe you can start from today. For any international day or there's something, you just see people coming up, different organizations, governments
making commitments.
Yes, but we never get to see these things play out. We never get to see them. It has gotten to that point where when it's so day for this, please don't say anything. If you know that you do not have these plans in place, or you will not follow through your promises, don't say, because
the reason why that is, I don't even think that's feasible at all. It's a game. It's a game of politics. They're there to play the game, and rather than say
the
nothing
expense of the electorate,
exactly, because just like he said, what they're trying to do is play you to the gallery, make you believe that they're actually doing what they're supposed to do, when in reality they are not. When in reality they're not, and that is the sad part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You see, you know what happened is that our workers and let me say we Nigerians, because of the kind of people that we have, we always look for a way out of every situation. especially when we are faced with governmental problems, like what we have at hand at the moment. Instead of us to look back and stand up to them, we would rather look for an exit in the world. So that's the problem that we are having. It's only the ASU that have always been a blogger with them because, they are elites. They are educated and they know they are right. So that is why you see that constantly they are always, a blogger with the federal government because why? This is the same thing that is happening. We continue to promise without fulfilling. And that has to stop. We are not fools. They should stop taking us as fools. Whatever that is at their disposal, it is ours. It is not theirs. They do not work for it. It is our commonwealth that they are being given the power to manage. And if as such, then we have to manage it, they have to manage it well
properly
to our benefit, not to their own benefit. It is to our own benefit as a people that Nigeria, as an entity called Nigeria. So that is the problem we are having. The problem lies also with us. Because the people of Nigeria, we always look for a way out. Instead of us to face our talent, face our trouble, let us fight it for a time still. Let them know that this thing, it is not their right. It is our right. Whatever they are giving us is not dividend. They should stop using the word dividend for us. It is our right, fundamental right. When you work for 30 days, it is your entitlement to be paid. And after you have worked for so number of years and you retire from active service, it is your right to be paid pension and to be given a standard pay of gratuity. It is your right. And it is your right to be paid monthly a certain portion of your salary to maintain and upkeep your farm. It is your right.
All right.
Thank you very
much, Adeyemi. Thank you very much, Adeyemi.
So much passion, and you can just tell that there's so much work that Nigeria needs to do.
Yes, thank you so much, Adeyemi. Thank you. It is 2 minutes past 8 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is the newspaper review on Women Radio. The newspaper review is where we get to review and analyze the dailies across different Nigerian newspapers. And the newspaper review is broadcast from 7:30 to 8:30 Mondays through Fridays. My name is Esther Alaribe, and my co-anchor for the morning is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. Our analysts, we've been speaking to Adeyemi Adeolu. You're welcome on the newspaper review. Send us your text, send us your comments on 070-317-56537, 070-317-56537. And we have been discussing the welfare of workers, why workers need to be paid salaries, pensions, gratuities. No worker deserves to have to protest or stage any kind of protest whatsoever before you get paid. I would like to reiterate that we do not take calls on the newspaper review. I see the phone lines buzzing. We do not take calls on the newspaper review. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. All right, Sumto.
Okay, now moving on to the Vanguard newspaper. This is the news updated from the incident that happened yesterday. So this is 2 dead, 23 rescued as building collapses in Lagos. 23 people have so far been rescued, with 2 others confirmed dead at the site of the building that collapsed at 24 Ibadan East off Maritala Mohammed Way, Ibutemeta, Lagos. Now, the people so far rescued include 22 males and 1 female. Now, the 2 people, a male and a female, have been reported dead. Now, this was a 3-story building, supposedly an old 3-story building that collapsed, and this was at 10:56 p.m. yesterday. Now, I'm looking at this headline. and I'm referencing what happened in November 2021, the 21-story building that collapsed at Ikeja, at Ikoyi rather, that even the owner of the building he died in the collapse as well, along with a ton of other people. Now I'm asking myself, what is the Lagos State Building Control doing? Like, what are they really doing? Because this is not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time, and it doesn't look like this is the last one. It doesn't look like every time this happens, we think, okay, maybe this will be the last one. We kind of already know that it's going to happen again. So I'm asking myself,
So an update on that.
what is it? What are they really doing?
An update on that. I just saw another one here. 6 dead, 23 rescued as rescue efforts intensify effort to rescue these people. Honestly, when you hear cases about building collapse and all, there's some buildings, actually, that when you see them, you know this building is already old.
It's dilapidated, probably needs renovation.
We need officials to come in and check distance. But it seems as though everything can pass, everything can fly. Now, I saw, when this thing happened yesterday, I saw a tweet at around, I think past 10 or there, but when I saw it, I was like, no, not again, not again. For a 3-story building, you can imagine how many people
that live there that would fall victim to this. Hence my question, Adeyemi.
Very, very
What
sad.
is the Lagos State Building Control Agency doing concerning the recurrent building collapses in Lagos State?
Thank you very much. Please, I want us in a positive thing, before we go further, to give kudos to LAPSCA.
Okay.
Whether we like it or not, they are really working hard. But I can tell you categorically that I've been able to be part of the activities one way or the other.
Okay.
The fact on ground is that, you see, with the people as well, we have our own problem. We are the ones that are causing collapse at the expense of our so-called potential tenants or landlords to be when we sell our properties out or when we let it out. Now, this is an old building that's given way, and we have these casualties in there. When you want to find out, you discover that perhaps they have even been warned before. I have seen cases where people are being warned to vacate a building, but yet they will continue to tell the officials that they don't have any place to go. And the fact that the integrity of the building is already compromised. And yet they will continue to tell them they don't have where to go. And you know, by the time they bring in the task force to evict them, we see it in another light. We will continue to see another form entirely. That's the nature of man for you, particularly with the black men. It's unfortunate that this thing is happening at this point in time. Lagos State, I think to some extent, they are trying. Though they still have faults, let's be honest, especially with this one that happened. And that's to tell us that, you see, instead of them to just be thinking and looking at how to make money, because I know that their agencies, they are really after money. That's what they are really after. It's not about money. What they should be more concerned about now is life, protection of life. And the problem we have, you see why people tend to cut corners these days. When you place so much emphasis on money, you are giving room for corruption. What do I mean by corruption in this time? You are giving room for people to cut corners. Now, by the time you want to build maybe a 2-story building, and you go to large car building control agency, they will tell you have to pay. They will charge you some money that based on the environment and based on what you are going to rent. And at the end of the day, you realize that some people will pay as much as 2.5 million, and they will tell you because you have no. You see, the government should be after the welfare of the people. Yes, they still need money to run the institution, but not at the expense of the people. That's where I am crossing them. Because if the amount they are charging is minimal, people will not cut corners. People will not be running away from them. You know that there are some buildings that overnight, before you know it, they are erected. All because they want to beat land cap because of what their so-called encumbered fees. And if you want to build a house, you have so many agencies that are overseeing it, not overseeing it for the betterment of the building, overseeing it to exploit money from you. These are the problems we are having. These are the things that the government of this state, not only the Labour state, of the state in Nigeria should look into. There is so much multiple taxes. Multiple taxes. That's the problem we're having. People are being taxed on a particular product you pay different types of taxes. You pay tax 1, tax 2, tax 3, and they will give you different name for them. Those are all products.
I have a question.
It's
Let me ask you this. Now, you made reference to the fact that the Lagos State Building Control Agency is putting in so much work into mitigating the frequency at which building collapses happen. Now, if they go to a building, the officials of the Lagos State Building, and they say, I think this building is going to collapse soon, it needs to go, it needs to be renovated, and the people here need to be evacuated. When you tell the residents of that particular building that they need to leave, and they reply that, oh, there's nowhere for them to go, there's nowhere to... Is it the responsibility of the government to house them somewhere, give them some kind of residence, some kind of shelter where they can be, and ensure, giving a specific timeline to the constructors of the building, to ensure that it's renovated within a certain timeline, so that these people can they can move back into their original residence? Is it not the responsibility of the state to make sure that happens?
We are talking about the faulting of the integrity of the building.
Yes.
From what happened, you realize that this has nothing to do with innovation. This has to do with the fact that the building ought to have been pulled down. That is the solution to the kind of a building. And because that solution was not being taken care of by all the people, the nature itself has to take care of it. That's what happened. You see, when you're talking about innovation is quite different from the reconstruction when the integrity of a building is compromised, which implies that anything could happen. And when we say anything could happen, we're talking about the building caving in or giving in.
Okay.
So that's what we're talking about. Or as it is, like I told you, yes, you asked the question: is it the duty of the government to provide them a temporary shelter? Yes, they could do that, but maybe the kind of system that we run, you're talking about a tenant community. Or the kind of system we run in there, that you're all for yourself. That's the kind of system we run.
So this is why that can happen. Because it looks like when you tell them, oh, we need to pull down this building because it looks like it's going to cave in soon, they already know that there's nowhere they can go, and they would rather take the chance that happens just in case, and then they take the God route, like, oh, God will protect us, it won't happen, it won't happen. And then when you eventually...
Nigerians would like to pray.
And that's the thing. So to a large extent, when cases like this happen, what should be the next move of the government to ensure that, the safety of life, protection of lives?
Well, the government actually has a lot to do in all of this, because first, I think it needs the willingness of the people first, because when you have been told that this building might collapse anytime soon, the integrity of this building
has been compromised.
Yes, but Nigerian sentiments, so sometimes you're like, no, I don't have anywhere to go. And if the government actually still goes on to do anything or bring the building down,
it will be a different story.
Insensitive. You understand? So I can understand how, if the government comes out to say, oh, our hands are tied on this one, okay, our hearts are with you too.
Terrible situation.
Keep your text or WhatsApp messages coming in on 070-317-56537. Well, let's take some of your messages. We have this message here from Olusoga Ajayi in Ikorodu, and it says, I never knew that this day would come in Nigeria when May Day came and there was no excitement, no drama, nothing. At least I have witnessed May Days in which there will be Ashwebi with serious march past, but this time around, nothing. The presidents or the governors were always afraid to attend May Day parades. Must we always destroy everything in Nigeria? Must we? Another message here is from Rosendia Mutin, and it says, it is unfortunate that we still have to listen to unpleasant news on Eid because the country is filled with bad followers that are producing bad leaders. I really hope that we all turn a new leaf. True. Looking at this, the fact that we still have to talk about these things instead of us to be celebrating, but we need to talk about these things because we don't want a reoccurrence of this thing. That is why we are talking about it. Now, Damien says, ASU made a blunder. They should have seriously fought for the implementation of their rights and entitlements with the very administration that signed such agreements with them. But passing it on to another regime gives room for loose ends.
That's a very interesting point.
Very point. But Adeyemi, when with this point that Damien has raised that they should have been able to hold the particular administration they signed that MOU with, when the administration is not coming forth, what would you do?
Now, let's look at it this way. To some extent, they must be right, but at the same time, we have to look at it that government is a continuum.
Okay.
You understand? So, whatever the government, every successive government always pass over their liabilities. So, whatever is the liability when it comes in terms of the agreement that was entered into, and we should not forget one fact, that if at that time, ASU decided to down their tools and not more for years, we will be the one that will criticize them. So there are ways by which they need to play so that the institution, the educational institution of Nigeria will not suffer, all because of the ineffectivity of the government of the day. That's what you see right now. That is why you see that this problem is always a bit elongated. It's been carried over. That's the situation. So you can't blame us for 100%. We are human. And at the same time, they should be able to think about the students that they are meant to think. So when they put that into cognizance, it will be difficult for them to fight it, to stand still to the government that they had an agreement with. I'm not forgetting that government is continuum. So you bring part from one successful government to the other. So please, we should understand that they don't have a fault. The fault lies with the government. It doesn't matter which government makes an agreement and which government implements.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
All right. Olayin Ifo says, it is not normal that 4 trillion naira for subsidy cannot pay 200 billion naira to invest in human capital development, which is the best investment any country could make of itself, which is the academic part of the country. We are in a very abnormal country. Ola, you know this, the end part of your message was unnecessary, right? You know it was unnecessary. Another message here from Kike in Oshodi says, good morning, ladies. Good morning to you too. It is just another day for us to talk about the woes and failures of us as a nation. I totally agree that sometimes let's take our minds off these things and just talk about some other things. Well, as much as just like Kike said, as much as we won't take our minds off these things and not talk about them, these things are staring us in the face.
And apart from that, if we don't hold the government accountable for any of these things, there is no way that any change will be effected. There is no way that anything will happen that will make any kind of difference.
Another message here from Chuks in Ikeja says, in as much as our judicial system does not work, all manners of evil and evildoers will continue with their evil trades. Typically, in senior climes, other states like Lagos and many others where houses collapse every now and then would have been bankrupt by claims coming in from victims and their families. Good morning, Esther Somto and Adeolu. Good morning to you too.
Good morning.
Yes. Actually, if you look at these things, I think at this point too, owners of this building, landlords, landladies, they need to also, at the point where you get to see your building, that this building, it be like say they come up for it, but this small, you should actually raise an alarm. You don't have to wait till everything comes crashing, because in that life, people are going to lose their lives, lose properties, and now we don't know how many people are still stuck inside this building. Hopefully, and it's quite sad.
Another perspective to this, and I have to ask Adeyemi this. Another perspective to this is, what is, because every time this happens, it seems like it takes long before a number of people are rescued. And I'm wondering, what's the protocol for saving lives when it comes to these kind of things? Are we equipped with the knowledge that is required,
or the tools that we need,
and the knowledge and the tools that are required to take these people out of this and rescue them easily and safely and quickly?
Thank you. You see, Lagos State is on top of their game when Lagos State is on top of their game when it comes to that aspect. Okay. They have the rescue team, and you know, one thing is that when building collapses like that, it's always difficult for you just to continue to lift things and give maybe perhaps, let me say, the instruments, the equipment into the rumbles. In the course of doing that,
so
you might actually, you know, wound somebody or even add a lot more pressure that will sabotage the person. So that is why everywhere in the world, they try to remove it from surface to surface. So that's how the goal is. Okay. Until you are able to see a particular layer that can easily be lifted with the knowing fully well that there are almost underneath. Yes. That is when you'll be able to see that you can move such rumble away from people who are already trapped underneath. Right. The same way it's been done in Nigeria, the same way the Lagos State officials are doing it, the way that it's been done all over the world. Yeah, they are really working hard when it comes to that level, and they are really following the ethics of how it's been done. And talking about you just spoke about when people see their buildings that they are about to collapse. Yes. You see, the problem most people are having is the fact that the amount that you will use to pull down, that you have to pay last time again.
To pull it down.
It is my property. I want to pull it down. I have to pay for it.
To pay, exactly.
This is wrong. Let you take advantage of everything. If they should leave that open, that look, it is your property, all we are going to do is that we are going to be there to monitor. Or you are going to pull it down. But actually what they are saying is that you cannot pull it down on your own. We are going to help you to pull it down. So you have to pay certain amount. And well, if they are going to pay certain amount, then they will make it minimal.
All right.
Maybe with that, it will encourage people when they see that they are building
to do something about it.
To compromise. So invite them in.
All right. Thank you very much, Adeyemi. It is 22 minutes past 8, and this is a newspaper review on Women Radio WFM 91.7, and we have been analyzing the dailies across different Nigerian newspapers as we do on the newspaper review. Your comments, reactions is very much welcome on the newspaper review. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317-56537. My name is Esther Larabe, and I have with me in the studio Somto Titilayo Ajama. Our analyst for the morning is Adeyemi Adeolu. Yes, we have another message here from P. Dasa in Ogun State, and it says, "Good morning, my Able News crew. Good morning to you too. Commenting on the ASU strike, I would outrightly say that anyone who doesn't fulfill agreements should be seen or considered to be irresponsible. I am 75 years old presently as I speak to you, but I cannot remember any instance where I failed in my obligation to fulfill any agreement I reached with anyone. In fact, I am leaving it as a legacy to my children. Those supporting the government in this regard are all irresponsible. Not follow and whatever he is, by exemplary actions, the whole world pursues and follows." So Peter says of the opinion that we should not make any excuses for this administration.
An agreement,
if you sign an agreement, you should actually stick to that agreement and do right by that agreement.
Because it's binding. It's binding, and you should
not
actually
passing from one administration to the other. Adeyemi, do you agree?
Fantastic observation. That's a cogent statement. That's a sincere statement. That's how it ought to be. We always say, your words are binding. Whatever agreement you made, it should be binding upon you. It's a debt that you need to pay. And now let's take it from the angle of that man. That is his own person. That is his character. And he's making sure that the problem we're having, when the previous government do not, own up to their responsibility. The new government also will do the same thing because they will be copying what the past government did. That's exactly because they will be copying what the past government did. That's exactly what is happening. It's a bad.
All right. Thank you very much, Adeyemi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you again, Adeyemi.
Thank you. Amazing conversation, I must say. And we really do hope that this time next year, when we're talking about Workers' Day, we will not be having the same conversations. We really do hope so.
That's our hope.
I pray we will have a good society where you and I can always celebrate. You know, Nigeria, we are kind of happy people, but now the government, certain government that have come to be, I will say they are taking their own joy away. They will not take our joy away. We will always be happy. God bless Nigeria.
Yes, thank you so much, Adeyemi. Do enjoy the holiday.
Thank you, you too.
Yes, thank you. And that was Adeolu on the newspaper review this morning. Amazing conversation, I must say. And truly, I'm still going to go back to the fact that I said, we hope that this time next year, we're not going to be talking about the same thing, because we cannot keep recycling these issues. There are things that, God will not come to do for humans what they can do for themselves.
Yes, that is very true. And I really hope that in general, the government will actually step up and recognize the woes that Nigerians are facing on a daily basis. I know that most of these things are man-made, and they can be fixed by man, by the leadership in the current administration. So I just hope that they step up to the game and actually get the job done for the benefit of the populace.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Tomto.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for your text and WhatsApp messages. Do also join us again tomorrow at 7:30 on Women Radio 91.7 on the newspaper review. My name is Esther Alarabi, and I urge us to be security conscious. Please, the children are at home at this time. Please, let's try as much as possible to watch this little cute unemployed ones. Say they don't get work, so they just want to move around and be free. So please, let's ensure that we look after the children properly. If you notice that your child has been away from you for so long, before you know, so many things are going on. So please, let us be security conscious. Be careful around people who come in. It's festive period. You have so many people trooping in to say hello, both people you know and friends of friends. Please, let us be careful and let us do right by any office we find ourselves, and just be good as individuals. Do have a lovely morning and enjoy the holiday. Good morning.
Women Radio 91.7.
Please listen to this special announcement. Due to the high cost of diesel, Women Radio 91.7 will be cutting down on our hours of operation. We would operate from 6:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mondays to Sundays. The Adult Conversations program will now hold from 6 p.m.